Hey everyone, this is a study guide for the STAAR test, just kind of a general review of a lot of things that we've covered this year. I'm going to be going through the answers. The actual blank assignment is posted on Google Classroom. Problem number 1. The graph below shows the remaining balance of Jason's loans after he makes each payment. Based on this graph, what will be the balance remaining after he makes the 12th payment? So 12th payment is right here. And so what you can do is you can just continue this pattern down, would be the easiest thing to do, until you get to the 12th payment. So the 12th payment is right here at $300, which would be answer choice D. Okay, going to number 2. Triangle PQR, which is this top one, is similar to triangle XYZ. Remember, similar means same shape, different size. And it wants to know what is the length of XZ. So I'm going to get a highlighter here. So XZ is this side right here that is colored in green. So remember, when you have similar figures and you're missing a side, you're going to set up a proportion, which is two fractions that are equal to each other. So I'm going to do little triangle over big triangle, little triangle over big triangle. So in this, I'm going to do 4 over 6, because those are corresponding sides. See, they're in the same spot. And then I am looking for this side, so I have to use 9 and x. So we do 9 over x. Then we're going to do something called cross multiplication. So I'm going to do 9 times 6, which is 54, equals, and then 4 times x, which is 4x. And in your calculator, you're going to do 54 divided by 4, because we're going to divide both sides by 4. And x is equal to 13.5, which is answer choice G. Moving on to problem number 3. The diagram below represents the side view of a bike ramp, which is closest to the falling value of x. So this is a right triangle with a missing side. 99% of the time, when you have a right triangle with a missing side, we're using something called the Pythagorean theorem, which remember is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now c is always the side across on the right angle, so that one's c. And then the other two are a and b. It doesn't matter which one's which, though. So I'm going to fill in what I know. So a is 26, so 26 squared plus 6 squared equals c squared. I'll type that in. That is 712 equals c squared. And now I need just c instead of c squared. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to square root both sides. And I'm going to take the square root of 712. And you get 0.68 is equal to c. However, it says which is the closest value. So we're going to say A, 27. Okay, problem number 4. Which numbers on this list are less than negative 0.94? So on a number line, in negative worlds, so I got 0, -1, -2, -3, the farther away from 0 it is, the smaller it is. So we're actually looking for numbers that are, you could say bigger than 0.94, because in the negative world, which by the way, 1, 2 of these answer choices are positive. Okay, so we know those aren't going to be smaller. So any answer choice that has 0.24 or 97% in, we can get rid of, which is H and J. So we can go and get rid of those answer choices. So I'm going to go ahead and start changing the rest of these to decimals. This is going to be negative 0.93. And this one is negative 2.4. And the rest are already decimals. So we're going to look at this list. So negative 0.93 is not smaller. So that means I can get rid of F, which leaves G as our correct answer. Going to problem number 5. Goodness. A square has a side length of 5.5 inches. All right, so I'm going to draw a picture. Because I'm talking about a square, I'm going to draw a picture. So side length of 5.5 inches and is dilated by a scale factor of 4/5 Remember, dilated means it's like a similar figure, same shape, different size. To create a new square, what is the side length of the new square? So we're going to scale factor of 4/5. Remember, scale factor is what we always multiply by. So I'm going to do 5.5 times 4/5. So my calculator, 5.5 times 4/5. I just wanted to make everything decimals to make it easier. And you end up with 4.4, which now we got to look at our answer choices. And if you need to go, right, so that's 4.8 and change all of them, 4.25, 4.4. Okay, it is C. Okay, problem number 6. Juanita covered the outside of a gift box shaped like a rectangular prism with paper. So I'm going to go ahead and draw myself a picture of a rectangular prism. Okay. The box is 3.2 feet long, 2.1 feet wide, and 2.7 feet high. Which of the following is closest to the total surface area of this box? This is one of the ones we could check our star chart. The formula for total surface area is pH plus 2 big B. Okay, so I'm going to say my base is this end. Remember, on a rectangular prism, it doesn't really matter which one the base is because all of the sides are rectangles. It's not like a triangular prism where only some of the sides are triangles. On a rectangular prism, everything's a rectangle. So I'm going to say this one's the base. So capital letter P stands for perimeter of the base. So I'm going to find the perimeter of that shape. 2.1 plus 2.7 plus 2.1 plus 2.7. So that's 9.6 times our height. Remember, our height is the distance between our bases, so our height is actually 3.2. Plus 2 times the area of my base. Now, area base is going to be 2.1 times 2.7, which is 5.67. And then we can just type this entire thing into our calculator. 9.6 times 3.2 plus 2 times 5.67. And you end up with 42.06. Again, it says which one is the closest to. So it's answer B, 42. Okay, moving on to problem number 7. A 10-foot ladder is leaning against a wall. The bottom of the ladder is 4 feet from the base of the wall as shown below. Which of the following is closest to distance from the top of the ladder to the base of the wall? So again, this is a right triangle with a missing side. Everybody's favorite formula that we use when we have a right triangle with a missing side is the Pythagorean theorem. So I'm going to do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Remember, c is always the side across from the right angle. We have sides a and b. So in this one, I have a, so that's going to be 4 squared. I don't know what b is yet, so I'm going to leave that as b squared. And c is 10 squared. Okay, so now we're trying to solve for b and get b by itself. So we're going to solve this like an equation. 4 squared is 16, so 16 plus b squared equals 100. Then we subtract 16 from both sides. I'm left with b squared equals 100 minus 16, which is going to be 84. Then our last step is we got to take the square root of both sides, which is going to be c is equal to 9.16, which is closest to, well, closest to that is A, 9. Problem number 8. Yadira made a wooden cone. I'm going to go ahead and draw myself a cone that has a radius of 1.9 inches and a height of 15 inches. Which is closest to the best estimate to the volume of this cone? So volume of a cone, checking on our star chart, is 1/3 big BH. Okay, if you remember, big B stands for area of the base. The base of a cone is a circle. So this is going to be 1/3, area of a circle is pi r squared times our height. So now we're going to plug in what we know. 1/3 pi 1.9 squared times our height. So we're going to go ahead and type that into our calculator. like I'm doing right now. Okay, and you end up with 56.7, which again, it asks which one is the best estimate. So that means we can round. Answer choice A, 60. Okay, a regular pentagon, so I'm going to go ahead and draw myself a regular pentagon, is dilated by a scale factor of 3/2 to create a new pentagon. This is actually going to get bigger because our scale factor is bigger than 1. Which of the following statements is true? So let's say the side length of my pentagon, each side is worth 1. So that means my perimeter is equal to 5. Okay, if I dilate by a scale factor of 3/2, now my side lengths are 3/2 because that's going to be, or 1.5. Because when you multiply by the scale factor and 1 times 1.5 is 1.5. 3/2, same thing. Now let's look for the perimeter of our new guy. So the perimeter of our new shape is 7.5. So we're going to see how our perimeter changed from 5 to 7.5. Okay, and our perimeter actually increased by a factor of 1.5, which is answer choice J. Okay, moving on to problem number 10. What is the lateral surface area of the triangular prism shown below? So formula for lateral surface area of a prism is big PH, perimeter of the base times height. So this is a triangular prism, so our base is going to be the triangle. That's why it's called triangular prism. So if I need to draw the triangle separately, just to help my brain out a little bit, 9, 8, 16.8. So I'm going to go ahead and find the perimeter of that. 8 plus 9 plus 16.8, which is 33.8 times our height, which is 4.8, right here. And you end up with 162.24. Okay, the average distance from the Earth to the Sun is about 9.3 times 10 to the 7th miles. The average distance from Mars to the Sun is about 1.4 times 10 to the 8th mile. When both planets are at their average distance from the Sun, how much farther is Mars from the Sun than the Earth? So I'm going to go ahead, so I got Sun right here. And so Earth will be here. I have that distance. Mars will be here. I have that distance. So what we're going to do is we're actually end up subtracting them to find out what this distance is between them. Nope, you can't even see my pretty picture here of the Sun. So it might help you to take these numbers and change them from scientific notation to regular notation. So remember, I'm going to move my decimal 7 units to the right. So 9, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. And this one's going to be 1, 4 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zeros. And then you can just take these numbers and you can subtract them, which is what I'm going to do right now. And you end up with this number, which is 47 million. And so I subtracted them because I knew that I want to know the distance between the two. So I took this farthest one minus the closest one. That's how I could find the distance. Okay, problem number 12. A store manager discounted the prices of several items during a sale. The original price and the sale price are shown on the table below. Based on the data in the table, what would be the sale price of an item that had an original price of $85? So this is a rate of change problem. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to find the rate of change, also known as the slope. So I'm going to do 32 over 24, sorry, 32 minus 24 over 40 minus 30. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and solve that. It's going to be 8 over 10, which is 4 over 5. So the rate of change is every $4 of increase on the original price, it went up $5 in the sale price. That's what that means. So if I have $30, and I'm going to take my $30 and multiply that by my rate of change, so times 4/5, it gets me $24, which is my sale price. So then if I'm looking for something for $85, I'm going to multiply that by my rate of change, and you get $68, which is answer choice C. Okay, problem number, did I skip 13? I guess I did. Problem 14. Which equation best describes the relationship between x and y in the table below? Every single one of these is written in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, where m is our slope and b is our y-intercept. Remember, I have that super awesome mask that says y equals mx plus b is where I draw the line. So what we can do is we can solve for the slope and then find out which answer choice has that same slope. So if you remember, the slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I got x number 1, x number 2, y number 1, y number 2. So when I plug those in, I have 7 minus 5 over 6 minus 0, 2 over 6, which is 1/3. So I'm going to look at my answer choices, see which one of these has a slope of 1/3. Oh, look at C. Okay, moving on to problem number 15. We only have a couple more left. Find the value of x. All right, so this is everybody's favorite type of equation. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I have negative 2x and negative 4x. So you can either, you're going to add, but pick one. So I can either add 2x to both sides or add 4x to both sides. The reason I'm adding is because these are both negative and the opposite of negative is positive. So I'm going to choose to add 4x because I want to get rid of negatives because I don't like using them. So I have 5 plus 2x, because negative 2 plus 4 is 2, equals negative 7. Okay, and then I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. So now I have 2x equals negative 12. Divide both sides by 2. And x is equal to negative 6, which is answer choice J. The graph below shows the relationship between the number of dollars workers earned and the number of hours worked. What does the slope of the graph represent? So this problem is asking us, what if I was going to take the slope, what does slope mean? Remember, slope is always the change in y over the change in x, like y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Our y units are amount earned, dollars, and our x units are hours. So that means that our slope means dollars per hour. So you're going to look at my answer choices and see which one is dollars per hour, which is going to be answer choice B. Number 18. The value of y varies directly with x. Which function best represents the relationship between x and y if y is 20 over 3 and x is 30? So if it's y varies directly as x, then it's y over x. So we're going to do 20 over 3 over 30. And you can just type this in your calculator because that's a lot of really weird fractions. And the calculator will do it for you. So I'm going to do 20 over 3 and actually put 20 over 3 in parentheses just to keep it separate. You can see on here how I typed it in. 20 over 3 divided by 30. And you get 2 over 9, which is answer choice G. Okay, problem number 19. A painter charges $35 per hour for labor plus $40 for a ladder rental when he paints a house. The customer provides the paint. The total charge to paint a customer's house was $950. How many hours did the painter spend painting his house? So I know he's going to charge $35 for every hour, so 35 times H plus $40 for the ladder. Okay, and all this is going to be equal to how much he's going to charge. So in this situation, he charges $950. This is just a two-step equation. So we're going to subtract 40 from both sides. We're left with 910 equals 35H. Divide both sides by 35. And H is equal to 26, which is actually not here. So the answer is J. Okay, last problem, problem number 20. Look at the linear function graph below. What is the rate of change of this function? So remember, rate of change is the same thing as slope. Okay, so I'm going to find the slope. So we're going to pick 2 points. And you're going to count rise over run. So I'm going to count up 1, run 1. But this is a nice negative slope. So my answer is -1. -1 over 1, which is the same thing as -1. Okay, I would like you to also go, if you're watching this still, go and find the video on Google Classroom where I take the STAAR chart and kind of go over the notes that you should, think about writing on the STAAR chart when the STAAR test starts. But you guys are going to do great. I'm super proud of all the work you've done this year. Thank you for putting in extra work and, reviewing this before the test. You guys are rock stars.